So, okay, I don't have a lot of time, but just one quick thing. I got a delivery on my doorstep the other day, and you know what it was? A phone book. What a waste of paper that is. Why are we still making phone books? Oh, I see confusion on the younger people's faces. Is it a book about phones, Ellen? What is it? Let me explain what a phone book is. Years ago, when we didn't have the internet to search for a phone number or address or cute videos of dogs that say, "Rai-ra-broo," we had something called a phone book. And maybe you were at home and you needed to look up somebody, or maybe you were at a payphone and you needed to get somebody's, uh-oh, I see more confusion. A payphone was this thing that came before cell phones, and if you were out and you needed to make a call, you'd use a payphone, and you'd put a coin in the slot, and you'd call your mom and say, "Hey, pick me up at the bookstore." Oh, no. All right. Bookstores were, before we had Kindles and iPads, there were actual books, and they were bound together, and you would turn pages, and you'd go to stores specifically to buy these books, and they were called bookstores, and that's how you would buy a book. Or if you didn't want to buy one, you could borrow one from the library. Oh, dear. Libraries were big buildings full of these books, and you would search through rows and rows of them, and then you would find the book that you wanted, and you would take it home and read it, you know, for a few days. And then you'd forget to return it, and you'd go to a different library because you didn't want to pay the late fee, you know, like a video store. I don't know how to stop. Video stores, before Netflix, if you wanted to watch a movie, you would go home and you would go to the video store, and they were like libraries. But instead of books, you would find movies, and then you would take one home and pop it into your VCR. Someone help me. A VCR was like a Blu-ray player, but instead of a disc, it was a cartridge. And after you watched it, you'd actually have to rewind the entire movie, you know, like an audio cassette. This may never end. An audio cassette was what we listened to before we had MP3s. All cars had cassette players, and you would just pop in your cassette tape of Milli Vanilli. Milli Vanilli was... They were in the late 80s. They were like a R&B duo that got in trouble for lip syncing. It wasn't a game show back then. It was frowned upon. You know what's not frowned upon here, though? Is dancing.